Hey guys, it's Alex back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the M1 iPad Pro after WWDC, my thoughts, my opinions, everything. Since there isn't Pro apps on this, like some people may have said, this is the 11-inch. It does look very big in my hand for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, but without further ado, let's start talking. So, I have the M1 iPad Pro, and I got it a couple weeks ago, and, I was a little bummed that we didn't see Pro apps, but honestly, what do we expect? It's Apple. We should already expect that they're not going to give us Pro apps just like that. So, what did we expect? We expected Pro apps. They didn't give it to us. It's not that big of a deal, and this is because I feel like you should just buy the iPad for what it is. You shouldn't buy it for what you expect. You should buy it for what it is then. You should wait, and maybe down the line they'll add Pro apps, which I still think there's a chance to do. And maybe when they add them down the line, if you don't want it now, buy them when the feature that you want comes out. Don't just buy it right then and there because you want this. Buy it later on. Just don't buy it right away. Wait a little while. If the thing that you want is not on it right away, maybe it will be later on. That's what I'm saying. So we're gonna definitely just watch. How many videos do you think we're gonna see of why I'm returning my M1 iPad Pro? There's going to be a ton floating around very soon. And, hey, that means you might be able to buy some open box ones at Best Buy or something if you really want one. So, that's what I'm saying. You just really need to wait and decide what you want to do. You shouldn't just buy it right away. You should make your opinion later on. If it has the Pro apps right when it comes out, then buy it for what it is. That's what I mean. There's a lot of people buying stuff for, just what they think. They're not buying it for what it is right then and there. Now, I think that there's a lot of people not buying the iPad for what it is, and they're buying it for, what they think it's going to be. Now, it would have been cool to see the Pro apps and stuff since they added the M1 chip, which makes you believe that they're going to be since they made the iPad so powerful, you would think that they would add apps from the computer, but I believe this is something to do with them optimizing the apps, because you can't just throw the apps onto an iPad. It's a different device. It's not the same as a MacBook. So they're not just going to throw Mac apps on an iPad because they'll probably crash. They have to optimize them for the iPad. So do I think maybe later on down the line, maybe we'll see some Pro apps for the iPad Pro? I think maybe we will, but in the meantime, I would say no, since they obviously did not release them at WWDC. Now, it's a bit of a bummer that they didn't, and, a lot of you probably were hoping for that, but, hey, as I said before, there might be some open box iPad Pros at Best Buy or something right now, so you never know, but I feel like we're going to see a lot of people just saying why I'm returning my iPad Pro. You don't need to say why you're returning it. If you bought it because you thought that they were going to get Pro apps, this is what I'm saying. I think people should wait and see if the feature that they want is going to come out on the device. If it's not there right away, wait, don't get it right then. It'll allow for less returning videos on YouTube. That's what I mean. If you know what I'm just joking, but I think that people just need to learn when to just wait. Now, you shouldn't always wait. That's not always something that you should do. Now, enough with the jabbering on about the Pro apps and stuff. Let me talk about my real experience with my iPad Pro, and it's been great. Honestly, the most I do is watch TV on it. Now, what I've noticed is it's very lightweight compared to my old iPad Pro. These new ones are very lightweight, and they're also very thin. I actually think that this is thinner than my iPhone 12, and that says a lot, because that's actually kind of a thick phone, but this thing is very thin. It's like paper thin. Now, with the Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pencil, this honestly can replace a notebook in some ways, because it's as thick as a notebook in your backpack. So, and it honestly almost weighs as much as a notebook. The iPad's actually very lightweight. Now, when you add the keyboard and stuff, obviously it gets a lot heavier, and that could be an issue, but to me, it's really not. I haven't actually traveled with this a lot. Now, it does collect many fingerprints, and I definitely recommend picking up a paper-like screen protector, because when using that, it feels like you're writing on paper when you're using your iPad Pro, which is very nice, but I do not have one yet, but a lot of people definitely recommend those screen protectors. Now, obviously, you can edit in LumaFusion on this and do video editing in LumaFusion, and you can do photo editing. I've done some light photo editing on it, and the iPad Pro does perfectly fine, which it should. It has the M1 chip, honestly, it should. And so, do I think that this is worth getting, even though we didn't see what we thought? I mean, yeah, I do. It's definitely worth getting. It's a great iPad, but Could you have waited? I would say maybe you should pick up a 2020 version, because you don't need the M1 if you don't have the Pro apps, because the 2020 version will do perfectly fine for what you want to do. Because if you're not going to be doing heavy video editing or anything, which who really does heavy video editing on an iPad? You really don't need to. So that's what I mean. Like, I would say that the 2020 iPad, if you had that, you don't need to upgrade from that to this. It's basically the same thing besides an M1 chip. Apple definitely is just trying to throw M1 in everything at this point, quite honestly, if that's what I have to say. That's definitely what they're doing. They're just trying to throw M1 in everything. So it's really your choice. I'm not going to make that choice for you. If you want to get that, then you get this. But if you don't, you don't. It's really just your opinion. So, alright, this iPad is very good, and that's pretty much all I have to say. So, I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.